Hello friends. So I have already kind of mentioned in my socials here and there, I think I mentioned it in the YouTube video and like TikTok and stuff, but I have recently quit my job to pursue content creation, which is what's happening right now. I used to work in retail since summer of 2019. It is now the summer of 2025, or just the end of, I suppose. And today I wanted to do a little story time of why I decided to finally quit my retail job to pursue content creation. It's a little bit scary. I wanted to kind of go through like my history working in retail and some like specific plans that my boyfriend and I had set in place that didn't really work out, kind of got postponed, and is why I decided to quit now. So we're gonna talk about all of that in today's video. So if you don't yet have one, grab a snack or a drink and let's get started. I first started working in retail in summer of 2019. This was me like going into second year of uni, and I guess after the first year I just decided it was time for me to get a part-time job. This was literally like I think 8 hours a week. It was very little, but it was my first ever job. I was extremely fortunate and privileged to have parents who were able to support me through my studies, and they always wanted to make sure that I prioritized that. I don't know if that was the right choice or not, because to be fair, I don't remember anything in terms of like uni stuff. I don't feel like I went to the course that was right for me, but that's like a whole other story of me not having a great time at uni. But regardless, I wanted to get a part-time job to kind of start building my own money and just start building a career, I suppose, like something that wasn't just my uni work. So I applied to a couple jobs and I interviewed for a few, got this one, and I was happy to start working there. And at first, like, it was fine. I've definitely always been very socially anxious, especially in very new situations. At that point, I had never had a job, like I just said, and I was still like very timid. Like, I'm still shy and socially anxious, but definitely not as much as I used to be 6 years ago. Crazy. So it was definitely like interesting for me, not necessarily easy, but it was fine. Like, it was a part-time job. And then COVID happened, obviously March of 2020. I was still working there. We all had to quarantine, and then I was furloughed, which was great. So I still had like a percentage of my income coming to me, even though again I worked 8 hours in a very minimum wage job. So it wasn't like I was making a lot of money during quarantine, but at least I was still making something, which is amazing. And I didn't have to go into work, so I felt very grateful then. However, going back to my job after having experienced quarantine, which wasn't a great time for me, I was not in a good headspace, as I'm sure a lot of us weren't. Like, I definitely did indulge a bit more in like my creative passions and hobbies, but it wasn't a productive time overall, and it wasn't great. So having to go back to working at a retail job, you know, speaking to customers, you know how they can be, and I not only had to wear a mask, which was obviously fine, like I wore a mask during COVID, but I had to wear a mask and then also like a face visor thing. It just wasn't great, and I ended up really resenting my job. And like I said, it was 8 hours a week, but I still hated going to work. And there was even a day where I had one like panic attack, which was major. I was like stuck in my room. I had to text my flatmate to call my work and call out for me because I couldn't do that. I was just in such a bad headspace. With uni as a whole was not great for me, but like post-COVID, going back to work, and just I didn't like the environment I was in after that. So it was really difficult. But then I made a decision in November of 2020 to quit my job at this place so that I could focus on uni work, is what I told myself and my parents. I was going into my third year of uni, which is the year that actually counts. In Scotland, I went to uni in Aberdeen. So the first 2 years, as long as you get a D and you pass, great, that's all that matters. But your third and fourth year, whatever grades you get, that actually matters to like what class you finish your degree on. I felt like it was just too much, and I had to quit to focus on my uni work and get better grades because I'm not that great of like an academic student. So then that's what I did. Third year, I just did uni work. And then summer of 2021, when I was about to go into my final year, my grandma passed away, unfortunately, and I started looking for work again because I wanted, I guess, something to kind of distract me and add on to the uni work, because it was a lot of time spent at home. I was doing my dissertation, and I guess I wanted to kind of get out the house more. I don't really know exactly how I landed on this job, but I did. And it was still a retail job, but it was a much better company, a company that I really liked. So much so that once I graduated, I felt like I wanted to stay with that company, because my dream has always been to pursue content creation and eventually have my own business and all of that. So there was never like an actual career I wanted to go into except for pursuing my own thing. So I was really happy with this retail job. Once my boyfriend and I graduated from Aberdeen, we both wanted to move to London. So he found a job in London, and then I asked this retail company to transfer me. I still had to like kind of like apply to get transferred, but I managed within 3 months to get it all done, and it was all settled. So then I moved. At uni, I was obviously part-time, and then when I transferred to London, I started working full-time for them. Now, my ideal plan obviously didn't work out. I wanted to start posting on YouTube every single Sunday. I had just moved to a brand new city and I was working full-time hours now. So for me, working full-time hours in London, commuting, trying to maintain a social life, keep up with my health, clean the house, cook, and then on top of that, try and run a YouTube channel to grow it like a business, it just didn't work out. And then I also stumbled into some part-time work as a social media marketer, kind of, for a like entrepreneur guy in London. So I did that for like 3 months, and again, still tried to work full-time and do my YouTube on top of that. So clearly I burnt out very quickly. I took a pause on my YouTube channel, and then after the 3 months I stopped working for that person. Yeah, I was just unable to stay consistent throughout this time. So then, because I really wanted to prioritize my YouTube and content creation in March of 2024, I dropped my hours from full-time to 30 hours, which is technically considered part-time, but to me still felt like full-time. So I was working 4 days a week instead of 5, and I was definitely more consistent with uploading because of this change, but I still couldn't dedicate as much time as I knew that I wanted to and needed to grow my channel like a business and how I wanted it to grow. And my boyfriend, even though he had a pretty good job and was like following a certain career path, we are both very entrepreneurial. So in December of last year, 2024, we decided that we were going to give ourselves a year and a half and move to Portugal next summer, so in 2026, to both kind of like quit our jobs and pursue our entrepreneurial dreams and dedicate full time. We had basically said, okay, we'll do a year and a half of savings so that when we move to Portugal, which is obviously a much cheaper cost of living, especially when you're earning pounds and then converting it to euros, we wanted to essentially have a full year's worth of living in Portugal saved so that we could just focus on pursuing our dreams and starting to make money then. And that was actually really exciting. We were on track with our savings and our plan. However, we decided to postpone it because my boyfriend has recently changed a little bit of like his career goals and plans. So us staying in London makes more sense. And then because he had changed that and we decided to stay in London, there was a random conversation that we had in August, me, my boyfriend, and my sister, and we're talking about postponing our Portugal plans. And then like maybe me being able to like quit my job earlier to kind of pursue my own thing then, since we were staying and he was doing okay in terms of like finances, and I already had some savings as well from the Portugal plan. And then my sister kind of hit me with like some tough loving, I would say, and I have this in a quote, but she said, "No offense, but your YouTube isn't going to grow if you keep working at where I was working." To be fair, like I had already like known that and realized it, but I think hearing it from someone else, especially my sister, who's like my best friend and knows me really well, it hit me a little bit more and I needed to hear that. So then later that night, my boyfriend and I got to talking and we realized that together financially we could bring my plan of quitting way earlier. And then literally the next morning, this was on a Sunday night, Monday morning, I went into work and I gave him my 2 weeks notice. I was so nervous writing that letter and going to my line manager to talk about it. I love her so much, and it was very difficult. Like, it was not an easy decision because I really did enjoy the job that I had. I was really good at it and I had made so many friends at that place. So it was definitely not an easy decision. However, I am so thankful that I did it because I can still go back and visit my work friends. Like, I can still go back and visit the store if I want to, but now I no longer have to go there and I get to create when I want to. So it feels like this all aligned really well, and I feel super grateful and privileged to be here. Like, this is now my full-time thing that I'm doing. I'm obviously currently not making any money from it. I'm really trying to get monetized. I've reached 1,000 subscribers, so if you are one of those people, thank you so much. And right now I'm working towards increasing my watch hours, so if you'd like to help me play some of my videos, I don't know. There's a new feature on YouTube where you can like hype people's videos. I think it only works on the mobile version, but right where it says on the comments, you can swipe and then hype someone's video. So if you want to support me, definitely go do that because that really helps small creators. But I honestly just have so many exciting plans right now, which I'm definitely going to keep to myself until they are actually in fruition because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So I'm going to keep those to myself, but I am super excited for what's to come. What I can say now for sure, because it's already in motion, is that starting now, September, I will be posting 6 videos a month instead of 4. Usually I upload every single Sunday at 11 a.m. I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm also going to upload every second Wednesday to increase my upload frequency. This video right here is going to be the first one to go up on a Wednesday. I think I'm going to be posting at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. If you think something else would be better, comment that down below because I definitely want to make sure to post when is best for my audience. So please let me know your feedback. And also in the past 2 weeks, which is how long I've been unemployed pursuing this new era of mine, I've been way more active on TikTok and Instagram. I used to be quite active on Instagram stories anyway, but I've been posting more on my grid as well, and definitely posting way more on TikTok, about 1 to 5 videos a day depending on my mood and time. So definitely check those out if you want to see me on a little bit more of like a casual day-to-day basis instead of these like full-on YouTube videos. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm super excited for this new chapter. If you want to support me, please just leave a like down below. That is free to do and really helps my channel. If you have the hype feature, do that as well. And if you want to see more from me and see how my journey goes, definitely consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you'll be notified next time I upload. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!